Oh, there you guys. Here we are in Facebook Live, and I decided to sign in a few minutes early because people tend to log in, drift in. Wow, I'm getting all sorts of messages here about customizing things. I am a Zoom person. I've been teaching ukulele on Zoom, and I've been doing counseling. That's my day job is counseling, and so I do things on Zoom. So I'm used to seeing people and interacting with people and hey, how you doing kind of stuff. And so I find Facebook Live kind of unsettling because I don't know who's here, but I'm glad that you guys are here as you log in and get kind of settled. Oh, wow. Okay, there's the comments thing. Excellent. 0 viewers so far. 1 viewer. Hey. So I just decided that I'm just going to log on a little bit. People can log on and a little here, a little there. And so I'm just going to like hang out for a little bit. It's 5:28. And so I'm just going to do a little intro song, I guess. And then when it's officially 5:30, I will officially introduce myself and all that. So, songs to do. I have a set list. I've got 8 songs I'm going to do. So it'll be a little over a half an hour. So I'm so looking forward to this. This will be so fun. I did this, I think, in August. So I like sing-alongs. I was standing by my window on one cold and cloudy day when I saw that hearse come rolling, come to carry my mother away. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. I said to the undertaker, Undertaker, please drive slow, for this body you are hauling, Lord, I hate to see her go. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. I went back home. My home was lonesome, 'cause my mother, she was gone. All my brothers, sisters crying, Lord, our home so sad and alone. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. I went back home. My home was lonesome, 'cause my mother, she was gone. All my brothers, sisters crying, oh, our home so sad and alone. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. All right, that was my intro song. So now I'm going to get officially started because now it's officially 5:31. And so welcome to the open mic happy hour for the Americana Music Academy. I'm so glad to see people here. This will be a lot of fun. I'm really glad that the Americana does this. It gives all sorts of people different opportunities to perform. It gives you guys a chance to see different performers. And I just think it's a pretty slick idea and brings some little money into the Americana as we go. So a lot of fun. So I'm going to start off. I have 8 songs I'm going to do today. First one is going to be, I have all these ukuleles surrounding me. So, playing my green Macala Dolphin with the stickers on it, because those is this for your C scale students. If you want to play your C scale, here's your notes. Anyway, there were bells on the hill, but I never heard them ringing. No, I never heard them at all until there was you. There were birds in the sky, but I never saw them winging. No, I never saw them at all until there was you. I feel a sneeze coming, oh no. And there was music and wonderful roses. They tell me of sweet fragrant meadows of dawn and dew. There was love all around, but I never heard it singing. But I never heard that at all until there was you. Then there was music, wonderful roses. They tell me of sweet fragrant meadows of dawn and dew. There was love all around, but I never heard it singing. No, I never heard them at all until there was you. Music Man, one of my favorite songs of all time came from that. So I'm gonna switch ukuleles. I have like, people ask me how many ukuleles do I have now, and I really don't know. I mean, I used to have a count. I have over 20, and I play almost all of them. You know, each one of them has a different sound, a different function. The banjo ukulele sounds different than the other ones. I don't know. So this is a soprano ukulele, the Macala Dolphin, which is my favorite entry-level ukulele, you guys. It comes in every jaunty color you want. It's affordable. It comes with a carrying case and a tuner and good strings and good tuners, and I don't know. Macala Dolphin. It's got a little dolphin. So there's my plug. It's made by the makers of kala, which we mainlanders call it kala, and in the Hawaiian Islands that call it kala. So call it whatever you want. So this next song is one that I learned from Chuck Wilson of the Kansas City Ukesters. Kansas City Ukesters formed, I don't know, you guys, like 15 years ago. I've been in Lawrence 10. So I don't know. But anyway, so the Kansas City Ukesters used to do a lot of performing. This is one song that Chuck Wilson brought to the group. It started off its life as an opera, an Italian opera called One Fishball, I think, is what he said. And then it was switched at some point. It became One Meatball. You know how folk songs morph through time. And so One Meatball was recorded by Josh White in 1944. And this is a song I like to introduce and kind of explain a little bit, because it's a story about a guy. It's written in the 40s, right? So we're thinking World War II. We're thinking food rations, bread lines, all that kind of stuff. And here's this guy who's broke, and he wants to go out and he wants to find something to eat for dinner. But he's broke. He only has 15 cents in his pocket. and he's trying to figure out what he can eat for 15 cents. And the answer is short story, one meatball. But one reason why I like to introduce it and kind of explain a little bit, because I've learned that sometimes when I perform it, and the line one meatball, no spaghetti comes up, and people start to laugh. And really, it is truly a story about total poverty, and it's not a funny thing. In current times, I can see, yeah, well, yeah, one meatball for dinner, right? 15 cents, sure. But back then, it was a deal, right? So I want you to keep that in mind when I sing this song. My brother Mac reminded me that this was one of my dad's favorite songs that the Ukesters used to do. So I think it's one of my favorite songs too. So thanks to Chuck Wilson for bringing this to the Kansas City Ukesters. It's a good one. A little man walked up and down to find an eating place in town. He looked at the menu through and through to see what 15 cents would do. One meatball, one meatball, no spaghetti, one meatball. He can afford but one meatball. He told the waiter near at hand the simple dinner that he had planned. The guests were startled, one and all, to hear their waiter loudly call, one meatball, no spaghetti, one meatball, one meatball, no spaghetti. He can afford but one meatball. The little man felt ill at ease. He said, "Some bread, sir, if you please." The waiter hollered down the hall, "You get no bread with one meatball, one meatball, no spaghetti, one meatball, one meatball with no spaghetti. He can afford but one meatball." The little man felt very bad. One meatball was all he had, and in his dreams he heard the call, "You get no bread with one meatball, one meatball, no spaghetti, one meatball, one meatball, no spaghetti. He couldn't afford but one meatball." One meatball, one meatball. Started his life as an Italian opera, recorded by Josh White in 1944. Okay, switching ukuleles again. This is a tenor, Eddie Finn, shark fin, get it? Travel ukulele, narrow body, love this thing, stays in tune. And that matters. I mean, a lot of people look at ukulele almost like a child's toy. And a lot of people, like when I've worked with a lot of younger students, people go, "Well, we'll start you off with ukulele and then we'll move to guitar." Like a ukulele isn't an instrument. I mean, it's a real instrument. It doesn't have to be a transition to another instrument and to a guitar or whatever. Um, it has a lot of versatility. I mean, ukulele was huge in World War I. You could take it into the foxholes like violins could be. That was the first wave of ukulele. And then along comes, Don Ho and Tin Pan Alley stuff, and then Don Ho, and then comes Israel Kamakawiwa Ole, who did the Hawaiian Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and then comes Jake Shimabukuro, which, holy smokes, changed everything. I mean, oh my goodness, that boy. Ooh, crazy. Okay, so this is my next ukulele. This is my first ukulele that was given to me by my good friend Molly Smith. This ukulele, I don't call them banjo-lalies. I have a thing about nicknames. I hate the word veggie instead of vegetable. It's a thing. So anyway, this is a banjo ukulele. It could be a minstrel banjo too. I don't know. But it's 1926. 1926, distributed by Sears and Roebuck. I don't know who made it, but Sears and Roebuck distributed it. And this was the $3 model because it has a back. It has a resonator on the back. It's got a little slot where the sound comes out of these little holes and pushes out. Back that didn't have the resonator was the $1 model. This is the $3 model. So this is 1926. My dad was born in 1926, which tells me this is a pretty darn old ukulele. And so the song I'm going to do next is an old song written in 1929, actually. Tiptoe Through the Tulips. Tiptoe Through the Tulips was written in 1929 for a movie called The Gold Diggers of Broadway. And it's really interesting. You can see it on YouTube. And Tiptoe Through the Tulips is not a stage song. It's sung by, if I remember correctly, a female actress in a dressing room is where this song takes place in the movie of Gold Diggers of Broadway. And then in 1944, Nick Lucas, who was a guitar player, picked it up and really popularized the song. And then, of course, we know Tiny Tim comes along in the 60s and makes the song a huge hit for him. One thing I got to say about Tiny Tim is he was an amazing musician. I had the great fortune. Bart and I went to see Tiny Tim at the Grand Emporium. And it was amazing to see this iconic guy who had been on the Johnny Carson show and everything, up close and personal in this small venue in Kansas City. And I swear, Tiny Tim walks on stage and we all go, what? I mean, we're all going nuts, right? Because it's Tiny Tim. And he has a banjo uke and he goes, and he shows his banjo uke. It was on Valentine's Day. There was Valentine's Day. And he shows it to everybody. Everybody's going, wow. And then he does a set. His first song was a 45-minute medley, one song after the other, bam, 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 bam. He was phenomenal. For Tin Pan Alley, his memory was amazing. His repertoire was amazing. And he took a break and he just during the intermission, he just hung out with us, right? He took his pic, you got your picture taken with him if you wanted to, or talk to him. He was just a very interesting guy to have a chance to see. And then he died about a year later after we saw him. So anyway, and then I have a photo of Tiny Tim at that show at the Grand Emporium, holding up his ukulele, and darned if it doesn't look like this one. I mean, I was like flipped out. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm playing a ukulele like Tiny Tim. So anyway, Tiny Tim was a buffoon and he knew it, but that was his money to the bank too. He was also freaking brilliant, and he was not. To me, a lot of people laugh about him. He's a laughing stock to a lot of people. I stand on his shoulders. I think he's awesome. So since he played Tiny Tim, played this song on the banjo ukulele, I'm gonna do it too, because I can. Shades of night are creeping, willow trees are weeping, old folks and babies are sleeping. Silver stars are gleaming, all along I'm scheming to get you out here, my dear. Come window, by the window, that is where I'll be. Tiptoe through the tulips with me. Tiptoe from your pillow to the shadow of the willow tree, and tiptoe through the tulips with me. Be deep in flowers will stray, we'll keep the showers away, and if I kiss you in the garden, in the moonlight, would you pardon me? Come tiptoe through the tulip, I tiptoe through the tulips with me. La la, la da da da, da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da, do do. Kiss you in the garden, in the moonlight, would you pardon me? Come tiptoe through the tulips, would you tiptoe through the tulips? Won't you tiptoe through the tulips with me? This is a fun instrument to play. It's not the easiest one to play, but I love the sound because it sounds like a banjo. Not all banjo ukuleles have a really nice banjo sound, but this darling really does. So, Molly, cheers. All right. Tiny Tim was just such an amazing guy. I'm so glad I got to see him. So this next song is, which ukulele? Oh, I'm using my new one. My new carbon fiber ukulele. It's hot stuff, y'all. It's the Enya brand. It's on sale right now, I think, on Amazon, I think. Side port so I can hear what I'm doing. Love that. It has carbon fiber strings so I can play it in rain, and I have played it in rain with friends at their house the other night with Debbie and Ann and Dorothy and Shannon, and it was fun. It has, it's just great. It can be out in heat, it can be in humidity, it can be in cold. It doesn't change because it's not wood, it's carbon fiber. It's awesome. So that's my ad. It comes in every jaunty color you'd want as well. So anyway, so this song, you know, one thing I love about teaching ukulele is my students. And Gary Henry is a student of mine. I've worked with him for quite a while. And he started taking ukulele from me because he wanted to learn about timing. He's interested in learning about how to hear music and hear the timing and where do the chords happen, where do the chord changes happen and stuff like that, and different kinds of strums and different kind of genres. So he was trying to learn different kinds of timing and different genres. And so I said, well, why don't we do The Girl from Ipanema? And he said, what? And he'd never heard of it. And so so that was our lesson for the next few weeks, was this song. And that's one thing I like about teaching is my view as a music instructor is I get to teach American music, not just what the student wants to learn to play. I like to introduce them to stuff that they've never heard about. And so this is one of these ones. I love bossa nova music. I love The Girl from Ipanema. And so this is my Enya ukulele with a low G for ukulele players. It's got a nice sound. If I, all right. Tall, tall, starting mine up. Tall and tan and young and lovely, the girl from Ipanema goes walking, and as she passes each one she passes goes, ah. As she walks, she's like a samba that sways so cool and sways so good. And as she passes each one she passes goes, ah, oh. But I watch her so sadly. How can I tell her I love her? Yes, I would give my heart gladly. But each day as she walks by the sea, she looks straight ahead, not at me. Da 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 la da 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 la da 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 but oh, oh, I watch her so sadly. How can I tell her I love her? Yes, I would give my heart gladly. But each day she walks by the sea, she looks straight ahead, not at me. Fine and young, blue the girl from Ipanema goes walking, and as she passes I smile. She doesn't see. Why doesn't she see? She just doesn't see. Why won't she see? Girl from Ipanema. Now that girl that song was written about, she's still alive. She lives in London, and she, she hear this song about her all the time, and she's kind of like whatever, which I think is funny. So this next song is one of my challenge songs. I like to push myself as a teacher. I like to push myself as somebody who performs, because really performing is not at all second nature to me. Because I picked up the ukulele when I was in my late 40s. And I'm 62 tomorrow, 62. And so I know what it's like to be picking up an instrument as an adult with no musical background. It's intimidating as all get out for me. It has been. And learning how to perform has been one of the most nerve-wracking things ever. People who knew me back then, the Kansas City Ukesters that I started off with, I know we all grew up together. We all grew up together as musicians, because we all got started at the same time and really built up that group. And so I like to push myself. I think if my students need to be learning new stuff, so do I as a teacher. So which ukulele am I using? My Eddie Finn. Okay. So this is a song, Quizás. It is a song that is a Cuban song. And when I went to Cuba with Ukulele Magazine about 4 years ago, this song was everywhere, everywhere. And I've known the melody forever because Doris Day recorded Perhaps, Perhaps, Perhaps. Well, if you really love me, say yes. And if you don't, dear, confess. Da 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 da. Perhaps, perhaps, perhaps. And it had that 60s sound to it, and it was like, okay, whatever. I didn't like it. So anyway, but I'm in Cuba and I'm hearing this song everywhere, and I thought, wow, that's a song I want to learn. And so I really immersed myself with this song about 2 years ago. And I documented what I was doing on Facebook so students could see the process, because I'm not a Spanish speaker. The songs I'm doing in Spanish. I tried it in E minor. It's a G minor. It's a minor chord song. So I tried it in all these different chords, and oh my goodness, E minor, A minor. Finally settled on G minor for what it's worth. And so one thing that was really, really, really super special about this song to me was in January 2020, I went with a group to Ecuador. We were doing a medical mission trip in indigenous communities in Ecuador, giving them, you know, physical examinations and all this kind of stuff. And one person in our group from the States brought his ukulele that he had handmade, which was really an interesting instrument. And so I'm hanging around with all these people from Ecuador, and I don't speak Spanish really, and they didn't speak English like at all. And I got the ukulele and I started playing kazas, and they were just like floored. And here's this, you know, gal singing kazas. I knew, I'm gloating, I knew the words better than they did. But G minor. So the thing about this song, it's different than the Doris Day version. Doris Day's is kind of like, hey, whatever. If you da 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 da. This song is about deep, deep, desperate heartbreak. So I'm looking at the lyrics right here, and he's talking about Spanish to English. Whenever I ask you when, where, how, and you only say maybe. And me, as the days pass, I'm becoming more and more desperate, and still I ask you, and you only say maybe. And I just keep thinking, pensando, I think and I think and I think about this. And that's all you ever tell me is maybe. And it's a song about really deep heartbreak and longing. It's not a catty little song that it became here in the States. So, quizás. And siempre te pregunto, ¿y cuándo? ¿Cómo y dónde? Y tú siempre respondes, quizás, quizás, quizás. Así pasan los días y yo desesperando y tú contestando, quizás, quizás, quizás. Estás perdiendo el tiempo pensando, pensando por lo que más tú quieres. ¿Hasta cuándo? ¿Hasta cuándo? Estás perdiendo el tiempo pensando, pensando por lo que más tú quieres. ¿Hasta cuándo? ¿Hasta cuándo? Si pasan los días y yo desesperando y tú contestando, quizás, quizás, quizás. Pasan los días y yo desesperando y tú contestando, quizás, quizás, quizás. Estás perdiendo el tiempo pensando, pensando por lo que más tú quieres. ¿Hasta cuándo? ¿Hasta cuándo? Estás perdiendo el tiempo pensando, pensando por lo que más tú quieres. ¿Hasta cuándo? ¿Hasta cuándo? Si pasan los días y yo desesperando y tú contestando, quizás, 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 quizás. Comes from Cuba. It's my dream sometime to go back to Cuba and perhaps play this song. Okay, God. Three more songs. Kingston Trio. 1957, maybe? It was before my time. Scotch and soda, mud in my eye. Do I feel high? Oh me, oh my. Do I feel high? Dry martini and a jigger of gin. Oh, what a spell you've got me in, oh my. Do I feel high? People won't believe me. They think that I'm just bragging, but I can feel the way you feel and just be on the wagon. All I need is one of your smiles, sunshine of your eyes, oh me, oh my. Do I feel higher than a kite can fly? Oh, give me your loving, oh baby, do I feel high? People won't believe me. They think that I'm just bragging, but I can feel the way I feel and still be on the wagon. All I need is one of your smiles, sunshine of your eyes, oh me, oh my. Do I feel higher than a kite can fly? Oh, give me your loving, oh baby, do I feel high? Scotch and Soda, the Kingston Trio, one of their classic songs. One of their classic songs. So this next song is one of my, this song comes from Tom Russell. And it comes from my student, Don Stoll brought this song to me. I want to say Wasabi Masabi. Tom Russell recorded in 2011. And it's parts of it is a dedication to cultural icons in the cinema and in our arts that they just disappeared. Like Tommy Driscoll, who was in Treasure Island, the little kid in Treasure Island, you know, I think he won an Oscar, and then he just, you know, Hollywood tried to keep him as a little kid and he just disappeared. And he became a drug addict. And some kids were playing in a warehouse and found this dead body. And nobody knew who he was. And so he was buried in a pauper's grave in a potter's field somewhere. And so, but he wrote a song about Cliff Edwards. And Cliff Edwards, his nickname was Ukulele Ike. Ukulele Ike. Cliff Edwards was born in Hannibal, Missouri, and in the late 1800s. And he dropped out of high school when he was 14. And he bought a ukulele because it was the cheapest thing in the music store. And so he buys this ukulele and he moves to Chicago. He gets all these gigs in Chicago. And he got the nickname Ukulele Ike because one of the bar owners couldn't remember his nickname, so he called him Ike. And then he just took Ukulele Ike as his stage name. And he hit the vaudeville circuit. He winds up in Hollywood. He's in all these movies, tons of movies with Buster Keaton. Oh my gosh. He's in movies, he's in TV shows, he's got recordings in Pinocchio, when Jiminy Cricket is singing, "When You Wish Upon a Star." That is Cliff Edwards' voice. Cliff Edwards made Singing in the Rain a #1 hit in the 1920s, long before Gene Kelly came along with the movie with Debbie Reynolds. Ukulele Ike, Cliff Edwards was a huge, huge Hollywood phenomenon. And kind of like Tommy Driscoll, he fell on hard times, and he got addicted to drugs. He got addicted to alcohol. He went through 3 marriages, went into debt. He retired in a retirement community that was owned by the studios, MGM, I think. And he retired in this, it was a retirement community for entertainers. Nobody really knew who he was, and he had like no money. And there's an interesting interview with him when he was in this retirement community, and one person knew who he was. It was an interesting interview to look at. But anyway, Cliff Edwards gets sick and gets taken to the hospital, and he dies at the hospital, and nobody knew who he was. His body laid unclaimed. Nobody knew who he was. And then Disney found out that he had died, and then they bought his body and they buried it in an unmarked grave. And then a fan of Ukulele Ike made a headstone, a proper headstone for him. So he is now buried. He's buried in California, and he has a headstone, and it is on my list. He's buried in Oceanside, and it's on my list to go visit Ukulele Ike. So anyway, Tom Russell wrote this song, and I'm using the banjo uke again. Jiminy Cricket, when you wish upon a star. Okay. This is called The Lonesome Death of Ukulele Ike by Tom Russell. Ah. I was born in Hannibal, Missouri, a funny little frog-faced man. I made the living in the movies, the backlots of Fantasyland. Mark Twain came from Hannibal, Missouri, and various other drunks like me. I learned to play the ukulele, reinventing my destiny. 'Cause nobody dies, do they? Not if they play the ukulele. And nobody cries, baby, not if you're wishing on a star. Well, maybe. Well, I kept singing in the rain, dancing in the Clegg-light sunshine too. I was the voice of Jiminy Cricket, wishing on a star for you. But I died penniless and forgotten in a motion picture old folks' home. In Neverland I lived in high cotton. My voice warbled on the gramophone. 'Cause nobody dies, do they? Not if they play the ukulele. And nobody cries, baby, not when you're wishing on a star. Well, maybe. Now hand me down my walking cane, my vaudevillian crooning pipes. I got one more song for you, Charlie, The Lonesome Death of Ukulele Ike. 'Cause nobody cries, do they? And when they play the ukulele. And nobody hurts, baby, now when you're wishing on a star. Well, maybe. 'cause it's only a paper moon hanging over a cardboard sea. Da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da. And I think my favorite line from that song is when Tom Russell wrote, "Nobody dies, do they? Not if they play the ukulele." Because if Cliff Edwards had not played the uke, no one would know who he is. People in Hannibal have no idea who he is. And here is this huge star. Buster Keaton is in all sorts of films. It's amazing. So anyway, nobody dies, do they? Not if they play the ukulele. Thank you, Don Stoll, for bringing this song to me. It's a fantastic one. And so now, my good friends, I'm bringing you to my last song. And I thank you guys for sitting in on this happy hour thing. I've had so much fun thinking about this and what song should I play? I had like a huge list and I had to whittle it down. It was so hard. So I'll have to do another one sometime. But anyway, thank you for supporting the Americana. It's like Max said that the tip jar goes 100% to the Americana. The building is sat empty for over a year now, and it needs a little cleaning up. Needs some bushes trimmed up and rakes, through the yard and this and that, and front porch painted, and open for classes, in-person classes. And I think I can speak for Max and the board in saying, well, we wish we knew, but we keep getting more increases of the COVID virus going on. We've had a COVID death this week at the Lawrence Memorial Hospital. So we don't know. We don't know, but we're still going to be doing online stuff. They've been doing jams at the Trivedi Winery on Saturdays, which is cool. You can look at the Facebook page, of course, and see what's going on. Music is staying alive, even though we're in kind of a challenging time. But thank you guys again for sitting in on this. I really enjoyed thinking about this and doing this. So this last song I'm going to do, a classic song from 1959, 59, 55, again, before my time. And so this is my last song. Thank you guys again for doing this. I really appreciate. Thank you, Max. Thank you, everybody, for doing this. This is one of my favorite closing songs. The Spaniels, 1955. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. I hate to leave you, but I really must say good night, sweetheart. Good night. Do 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 do. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Da 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 da. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Do do do. I hate to leave you, but I really must say good night, sweetheart. Good night. Well, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Baby, I just can't get it right. I hate to leave you, baby, and I don't mean maybe. I hate to go. Do 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 do. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Da 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 da. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Do do do. I hate to leave you, but I really must say good night, sweetheart. Good night. Well, your mother and your father wouldn't like it if I stayed here too long. One kiss in the dark and I'll be going. da 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 do 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 do. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Do 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 do. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Do do do. I hate to leave you, but I really must say good night, sweetheart. Good night. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for supporting the Americana. I look forward to seeing you guys sometime soon. Have a good evening. Take care. Bye-bye.